Commander Tay watched the strange ship hover above Earth's atmosphere. It was unlike anything humans had built, silver and smooth with no visible engines. Lights pulsed along its hull in patterns that seemed almost like a language. Any response to our hailing signals? Tay asked. Lieutenant June shook his head. Nothing yet, Commander. Wait, something's happening. A beam of light shot down from the alien vessel, creating a projection in the center of Earth Command's main floor. A figure materialized. Tall and thin with pale blue skin and 4 arms. It wore what appeared to be ornate armor. People of Earth, the alien spoke in perfect, if oddly accented English. I am Envoy Dak of the Galactic Imperial Fleet. Your world has been charted and claimed by the Sovereign. You will now provide tribute and acknowledge Imperial rule. Tay stepped forward cautiously. Welcome to Earth. We are interested in peaceful relations, but we are a sovereign planet. Perhaps we could discuss— There is nothing to discuss, Dak interrupted. Your technology level has been assessed at Category 3. You have achieved space travel but not faster than light capabilities. Such worlds serve the Empire. Your resources now belong to the Sovereign. Tay kept his expression neutral despite the anger building inside him. We respectfully decline. Earth belongs to its people. The alien's face shifted into what might have been amusement. Decline? You misunderstand. This is not an invitation. A collection vessel will arrive in one standard cycle. Prepare mineral resources and biological samples as listed in this transmission. Data flooded Earth Command's screens. Demands for massive amounts of metals, water, plant specimens, and even human subjects for examination. And if we refuse? Tay asked quietly. In response, the alien pressed something on its wrist. Above Earth, a beam of energy shot from the Imperial ship, striking and instantly vaporizing a weather satellite. That was a demonstration, Dak said coldly. Your primitive defenses cannot stop us. Comply or face consequences. The projection vanished. Tay immediately turned to his team. Contact all defense commands. Activate Protocol Omega. What the Imperial scout didn't know was that Earth had been preparing for first contact for decades. Hidden beneath the moon's surface, powerful weapons aimed at the alien ship. Orbital platforms disguised as communication satellites repositioned themselves. They've scanned our visible technology and made assumptions, said scientist Yoon, studying readings from the alien vessel. They didn't detect our subsurface installations or quantum defense grid. Tay nodded. Their mistake. Keep communication channels open. Try to resolve this peacefully. For 3 hours, Earth attempted to re-establish dialogue. The Imperial ship ignored all transmissions while conducting aggressive scans of major cities. When the alien vessel positioned itself over Seoul and began deploying smaller craft, Tay gave the order. All units, engage. The response shocked the Imperial scouts. What they'd dismissed as a primitive planet suddenly revealed advanced weapon systems. Concentrated energy beams struck the alien ship from multiple positions. The ship's shields held initially, but they hadn't been prepared for Earth's quantum disruptors. Technology humans had developed based on theoretical physics. Their shields are failing, reported Tactical Officer Sun. They're attempting to retreat. Disable their engines, Tay ordered. We want prisoners and technology, not destruction if possible. The Imperial ship tried to jump away but found itself caught in Earth's gravity well disruptors. Panic spread among the alien crew as systems failed across their vessel. Their distress? Call transmitted only partial information before Earth forces jammed their communications. When the ship crashed in an unpopulated area of the Pacific Ocean, Earth's special forces were waiting. Of the 32 crew members, 20 survived and were taken into custody. Envoy Dak, pulled from the wreckage, stared at Commander Tay with shock. Impossible. Your species couldn't possibly have such technology. You should have done better research, Tay replied calmly. Humans have always been good at 2 things: innovation and self-defense. In the following weeks, Earth learned much from the captured aliens and their technology. The good news, humans had technological capabilities that surprised the Empire. The bad news, the Empire spanned thousands of worlds and Earth had just angered them. They'll send more ships when they lose contact with this one, Yoon warned. Tay nodded grimly. Then we better prepare. Their arrogance gave us an advantage. This time we won't get so lucky again. As Earth unified against the coming threat, scientists worked feverishly to adapt Imperial technology. The captured aliens watched in growing concern as humans mastered in weeks what had taken other species years to understand. One truth became increasingly clear to both sides. The Empire had made a serious mistake in their assessment of Earth. 6 months passed since the first alien ship crashed on Earth. Humans worked day and night to understand the recovered technology. Scientists took apart the alien weapons, computers, and engines. Military leaders from all nations created a united defense plan. Admiral Han stood in the underground command center beneath Mount Pektu. Large screens showed the space around Earth. Yellow dots marked Earth's new defense satellites. Many contained weapons based on Imperial technology. "Admiral, we have multiple contacts approaching," reported Officer Q. 12 Imperial vessels just appeared at the edge of our solar system. Han's face remained calm, but his hands tightened behind his back. "Time until they reach Earth orbit?" 4 hours at their current speed, Q answered. Han nodded. "Alert all defense stations. Deploy the fleet as planned." Earth's response fleet consisted of 20 ships, hastily modified vessels using a combination of human and alien technology. They weren't as advanced as true Imperial ships, but they carried a surprise the Empire wouldn't expect. On the lead Imperial ship, Commander Vale watched Earth grow larger on the view screen. He had reviewed the fragmentary data from the lost scout vessel. "Primitive savages," he told his officers. "They simply overwhelmed our scout with numbers. A proper show of force will break their will quickly." His second-in-command, Officer Marn, seemed less certain. The scout's final transmission mentioned unexpected weapons technology. Vale dismissed this with a wave. "A Category 3 civilization cannot possibly threaten our ships." The scout captain was making excuses for his failure. As the Imperial fleet approached Earth, they broadcast their message. "People of Earth, your attack on Imperial representatives cannot be forgiven. Surrender all leaders responsible and accept Imperial rule, or we will destroy your major cities." One by one. In the command center, Han listened to the threat with a small smile. "Send them our response." The message was simple. "We gave your scout a chance to leave peacefully. We extend the same offer once. Depart immediately or face consequences." His ship, Vale laughed when he received Earth's message. "Their arrogance is amusing. Target their largest city and fire a demonstration shot." The Imperial ship aimed its main weapon at Seoul. But before it could fire, something unexpected happened. Small objects, barely visible on Imperial scanners, suddenly appeared near each Imperial vessel. "What are those?" Vale demanded. His question was answered when the objects exploded, releasing electromagnetic pulses specifically calibrated to Imperial shield frequencies, knowledge gained from studying the captured scout ship. "Shields failing!" shouted his systems officer. "Impossible!" Vale slammed his fist on the command console. Earth's defense fleet moved in quickly. Their ships were smaller than the Imperial vessels, but surprisingly fast. They fired weapons that seemed primitive at first glance, but carried modified Imperial technology inside. "They've adapted our own weapons," Marn said in disbelief as 3 Imperial ships exploded. Han coordinated the attack from Earth Command. "Target their engines and weapon systems. Remember, we want prisoners and technology." The battle lasted less than an hour. 8 Imperial ships were destroyed completely. 3 were captured mostly intact. Only one, Vale's command ship, managed to escape, though heavily damaged. As the remaining Imperial ship limped away, Han ordered teams to board the captured vessels. Scientists Yoon and Min led the first team onto the largest captured ship. "Look at this technology," Min said, examining the ship's control systems. "We could learn so much." Among the captured Imperial officers was Captain Grell, who had commanded one of the larger vessels. Unlike his superiors, he had studied Earth carefully after the scout incident. In the interrogation room, Admiral Han sat across from Grell. "Why did you attack us? We posed no threat to your empire." Grell's four eyes blinked slowly. The Empire expands. That is its nature. Thousands of worlds already serve the Sovereign. And what happens now? Han asked. Now? Grell made a sound that might have been a bitter laugh. Now the real Imperial fleet will come. What you faced today was nothing. A small punishment force. The Sovereign commands millions of ships. Han showed no fear. How long until they arrive? Perhaps 1 Earth year, perhaps less. Grell studied Han's face. You should surrender now. Save your people unnecessary suffering. Han stood up. That's not how humans work, Captain. We don't surrender. As he left the room, Han met with Earth's Unified Defense Council. The news from the interrogation spread quickly. We have 1 year, Han told the council. 1 year to master their technology and prepare. Military leader Su looked thoughtful. Their ships can travel faster than light. If we could adapt that technology, why wait for them to come to us? Scientist Yoon suggested. Perhaps we should take the fight to them. It was a bold idea. Use the captured Imperial ships to strike back before the main fleet arrived. The council debated through the night. Meanwhile, across the stars, Commander Vale's damaged ship finally reached an Imperial outpost. His report shocked Imperial Command. The primitive Earth forces had destroyed most of his fleet using adaptations of Imperial technology. The Sovereign was furious. Orders went out across the Empire. Prepare for war with Earth. Neither side knew it yet, but the galaxy was about to change forever. Pilot Jin gripped the controls of the captured Imperial ship, now renamed Thunder. The once alien controls felt almost natural under her hands after months of training. Behind her sat Navigator Day, his eyes focused on the star charts they had extracted from Imperial databases. FTL drive ready, Day reported. Course to Imperial. Outpost Station Kel 9 plotted. Jin took a deep breath. All ships report status. One by one, the captains of 19 other vessels, a mix of captured Imperial ships and human vessels enhanced with alien technology, confirmed their readiness. This would be humanity's first strike beyond their solar system. A desperate gamble to buy Earth time. Remember, came Admiral Han's voice over the secure channel from Earth Command. We need to hit all 3 outposts within 12 hours. Speed and surprise are our only advantages. Jin engaged the faster-than-light drive. The stars streaked into lines around the view screen as Thunder led the Earth fleet into the unknown. The plan was simple but dangerous. Attack Imperial outposts near Earth, gather intelligence, and disrupt any gathering invasion forces. 6 hours later, Thunder emerged from FTL near Kel 9, a massive space station orbiting a barren moon. The rest of the fleet appeared moments later, forming a perfect attack formation. They're hailing us, Communications Officer Park announced. They think we're an Imperial patrol returning early. Jin smiled. Perfect. Respond with the security codes we captured. All ships maintain Imperial identification signals. On the station, Imperial Commander Lox received the incoming fleet's codes. They matched authorized Imperial vessels, though their early return was unusual. Still, nothing seemed immediately wrong. Allow them to dock, Lox ordered. Prepare to receive reports. This mistake would cost him dearly. As soon as 3 of the Earth ships docked with the station, Special Forces teams led by Commander Su stormed inside. They wore modified Imperial armor taken from the defeated fleet, creating moments of crucial confusion among the station's defenders. Control room secured, Su reported after 20 minutes of fighting. Minimal casualties on both sides. We have access to their systems. Outside, the remaining Earth ships positioned themselves around the station, using Imperial weapons to disable the few patrol vessels before they could escape or send warnings. Jin watched from Thunder's bridge as the operation unfolded with precision. Download everything from their databases. We need fleet movements, defense codes, star charts, everything. The human forces worked quickly. Years of preparing for various threats had made Earth's military adaptable. Within 2 hours, Kel 9 was completely under human control. Intel team reports success, Day told Jin. They've found something important. Deployment plans for the fleet gathering to attack Earth. Similar scenes played out at 2 other Imperial outposts. At Station Ren 4, Captain Minho led a daring raid that captured an Imperial supply depot containing advanced weapons. At the monitoring post near Tevos, Commander Yu's team secured vital communication codes that would allow Earth forces to monitor Imperial fleet movements. Not everything went perfectly. At Ren 4, an Imperial officer managed to send a partial distress signal before being captured. Several Earth soldiers were killed in firefights, and one of the modified human ships was destroyed when its adapted Imperial systems failed during combat. But overall, the counterstrike succeeded beyond expectations. For the first time in Imperial history, someone had struck back effectively. In the aftermath, Jin walked through the captured Kel 9 station. Imperial prisoners watched with a mixture of fear and disbelief as humans confidently operated their technology. "How did you learn to use our system so quickly?" an Imperial engineer asked Jin as she passed his holding cell. Jin paused. "Humans are good at adapting. It's how we've survived on Earth for thousands of years." Back on Thunder, preparing for the return journey to Earth, Jin reviewed the intelligence they had gathered. The news was both good and bad. The Empire was indeed planning a massive attack on Earth, but it wasn't ready yet. Their counterstrike had bought valuable time and resources. Most importantly, they discovered something unexpected. The outpost communications revealed that several other species under Imperial rule were watching Earth's resistance with great interest. Some had even begun small rebellions of their own, inspired by the news that someone was successfully fighting back. "We're not alone in this fight," Jin told her crew as they prepared to jump back to Earth. "The Empire has enemies everywhere. They just needed to see resistance was possible." As Thunder and the remaining fleet disappeared into FTL emergency, meetings were happening across Imperial space. Reports of the coordinated attacks reached the Imperial capital, causing shock among the ruling council. For the first time, the Empire faced an unexpected question. What if they couldn't easily crush these humans after all? Representative Min stood tall as she entered the Great Hall of the Imperial Conclave. The massive chamber was filled with delegates from hundreds of worlds, most serving the Empire out of fear rather than loyalty. Min was the first human to step foot in this sacred space, and she had not been invited. "Security breach," shouted an Imperial guard as Min walked confidently toward the center platform. "Stop the intruder." Several guards moved to intercept her, but stopped when 4 massive screens around the chamber suddenly activated. On each screen appeared the same image: Earth ships positioned near critical Imperial supply lines. "I suggest you listen to what I have to say," Min announced, her voice amplified by the small device at her throat. "My name is Representative Min of Earth, and I come with a message from my world." The Imperial Prime Delegate, a tall being with gray skin and 6 arms named Vox, rose from his ornate chair. "How dare you interrupt these proceedings? How did you even reach our capital?" Min smiled. "The same way we captured 3 of your outposts and reversed engineered your technology. Earth does not recognize your claim to our world, and we demand formal acknowledgement of our sovereignty." Murmurs rippled through the chamber. Many delegates had heard rumors about the troublesome humans, but few believed a Category 3 civilization could truly challenge Imperial might. "You destroyed military installations across 3 sectors," Vox accused. "The Empire does not negotiate with terrorists." "We defended ourselves against unprovoked aggression," Min countered. "And we're prepared to defend ourselves further unless wiser minds prevail." While Min kept the Conclave's attention, other humans were busy elsewhere in the galaxy. Technical Officer Wu had secretly traveled to the Lentari system, where he met with resistance leaders from this long-subjugated species. "This shield technology combines your crystal science with our energy modulation techniques," Wu explained, showing the Lentari rebels how to build the hybrid defense system. "It can block Imperial scanners and weapons." The Lentari leader, AI, Crystalline being named Trisk, examined the designs with all 4 of his visual organs. "And you share this freely? What do humans want in return?" "Allies," Wu said simply. "Earth cannot stand alone forever." Similar meetings happened across dozen systems. Commander G led a joint operation with Mevaran rebels, striking an Imperial war prison colony and freeing political prisoners. Captain Dong delivered adapted weapons to the aquatic Srel species, helping them drive Imperial mining operations from their ocean moons. Word spread quickly through the subjugated worlds. Humans were different. They didn't seek to replace the Empire. They offered partnerships, shared technology, and respected cultural differences. Back in the Imperial Conclave, the debate grew heated. The humans must be crushed immediately, insisted War Minister Zoll, pounding his fist on the chamber floor. Any show of weakness will encourage other rebellions. Perhaps we should consider their offer, suggested Delegate Prell, representing a sector near Earth. My reports indicate they only attacked after being threatened. They've released most Imperial prisoners unharmed. Appeasement leads to collapse, Zoll countered. I have already ordered the assembly of our main battle fleet. Earth will be an example to all who defy Imperial rule. Min listened calmly to the threats. Before you make that decision final, you should know that Earth has shared defensive technology with 12 other species in neighboring sectors. Attack us, and you may find yourself fighting on multiple fronts. This revelation caused chaos in the chamber. Some delegates demanded immediate action against all potential rebels. Others called for investigation into these claims. A few, mostly from worlds that had suffered under Imperial rule, showed subtle signs of support for the human position. After hours of argument, Min was escorted from the chamber to a diplomatic holding area. Through her secured communication device, she contacted Earth. The Empire is divided on how to respond, she reported to Admiral Han. But the war faction appears to have the upper hand. They're assembling their main fleet. Han nodded grimly. Then we proceed with final preparations. How long do we have? 2 months, maybe 3, Min answered. Their fleet is vast but spread across many systems. It takes time to gather. That evening, the Imperial Palace was rocked by an unexpected development. 3 governors from outer systems formally requested reconsideration of Imperial expansion policies. Though cautiously worded, everyone understood what it meant. The first cracks were appearing in Imperial unity. Emperor Krav, who rarely involved himself in day-to-day politics, summoned his advisors. These humans have accomplished in months what no species has done in centuries. They've made us question ourselves. Gather every available ship. Earth must fall, whatever the cost. As Imperial forces began to assemble the largest fleet in their history, Earth and its new allies prepared for the coming storm. The galaxy watched and waited. For the first time in living memory, the outcome of an Imperial conquest was not a foregone conclusion. The massive Imperial warship Will of the Sovereign led the attack fleet toward Earth. Over 300 vessels followed in perfect formation, carrying enough firepower to reduce the planet's surface to molten rock. On the command deck, Grand Admiral Vor watched the blue planet grow larger on the view screen. Final approach, his first officer reported. Earth's defensive fleet is moving to intercept. They have fewer than 50 ships. Vor smiled coldly. As expected, their early victories made them overconfident. Begin standard conquest formation. Target their orbital defenses first, then major military installations. The Earth forces appeared to be scrambling to respond. Their ships moved into what seemed like desperate defensive positions. Monitoring stations on the Moon and Mars had already gone silent, offering no resistance to the Imperial advance. In the underground command center on Earth, Supreme General Hyun watched calmly as the enemy approached. Around her, officers monitored screens showing the positions of both fleets. They've taken the bait, Hyun said. All ships maintain positions. Activate the harmonic transmitters on my mark. The past 3 months had been spent preparing for this moment. After studying Imperial technology, Earth scientists had made a crucial discovery. The Empire's faster-than-light drives and weapons systems operated on specific quantum frequency patterns. With the right counter-frequency, those systems could be disrupted. Enemy fleet has entered optimal range, reported Commander Q. They're preparing to fire main weapons. Hyun nodded. Activate the harmonic field now. Across the solar system, hidden transmitters powered up simultaneously. They broadcasted an invisible wave of precisely calibrated energy, the exact resonance frequency that would disrupt Imperial technology. On the Imperial flagship, chaos erupted. "Weapon systems failing," shouted the tactical officer. "Drive core destabilizing. Shields collapsing across the fleet." Grand Admiral Vor stared in disbelief as his mighty armada suddenly hung powerless in space. "Impossible. How could they?" His question was cut short as Earth's fleet moved with practiced precision. Unlike the Imperial ships, the human vessels continued functioning perfectly. They had been specifically designed to operate on different frequencies. "This is Admiral Sung of Earth Defense Forces," came the transmission to every Imperial ship. "Your fleet is disabled, your weapons cannot fire, your engines cannot flee, you will listen." Vor had no choice but to accept the communication. On his view screen appeared a human female in a simple military uniform. "What trickery is this?" Vor demanded. "No Category 3 civilization has such technology. Your classification system was your first mistake," Admiral Sung replied calmly. "You judged us by your standards and your history. Humans evolved differently. We adapt faster, learn faster, and cooperate when threatened." Around the Imperial fleet, Earthships took position. They could have destroyed the helpless Imperial vessels, but instead they simply surrounded them. "We are transmitting visual feeds to your homeworld and all major Imperial systems," Sung continued. "The entire Empire is watching this encounter." Indeed, across thousands of worlds, the scene was playing out on communication channels. Imperial citizens and conquered species alike watched in astonishment as the undefeated Imperial fleet hung helpless before a supposedly primitive world. "We could destroy your ships now," Sung told Vor. "But that is not our way. One Imperial vessel will be allowed to return to your capital with our terms." "What terms could you possibly?" Vor began angrily. "Simple ones," Sung interrupted. "Earth and the solar system remain independent permanently. All species who have allied with us are to be granted the same status. The Empire will cease all expansion for 20 standard years, while a new galactic council is formed with equal representation." Vor laughed bitterly. "The Emperor will never agree." "Then observe." At Sung's command, a focused harmonic beam targeted one uninhabited Imperial ship. The vessel didn't explode. Instead, its molecular bonds began to separate. The ship simply came apart into its component materials, dissolving before the horrified eyes of the Imperial crews. "This technology can be adapted to target Imperial worlds," Sung explained. "We don't wish to use it. Humans prefer peace, but we will not be conquered." The demonstration had the desired effect. Throughout the Empire, the broadcast caused immediate reaction. On 7 major worlds, populations began demanding their leaders accept the human terms. 3 Imperial governors announced their immediate recognition of Earth's independence. Sung gave her final message. "One ship will be freed to return to your capital. The rest will remain disabled until agreements are signed. The choice is yours. Continue fighting and risk everything, or accept that the universe has changed." 2 weeks later, Imperial representatives arrived on Earth to sign the first true peace treaty the Empire had ever offered another species. As the document was finalized, the Imperial ambassador asked General Hyun a question that had been bothering the Empire's leaders. "How did your people advance so quickly? It should have taken decades to understand our technology." Hyun smiled. "Throughout human history, we've learned one important lesson. Necessity drives innovation, and nothing creates necessity like an existential threat." The treaty contained one final clause, broadcast to every corner of the galaxy. "Earth and its people are not to be trifled with."